Минулого тижня з гарним успіхом український фестиваль повернувся до Bloor West Village. Завданням фестивалю цього року було подякувати світовому суспільству за солідарну глобальну підтримку України та нагадувати за людські жертви рашистського насильства та геноциду нашого народу.
We have a wonderful stage full of dignitaries, and we are honored to be joined by a number of special guests, including government officials, community leaders, and former parade marshals of this festival.
It is so wonderful to see so many of you here in person after 3 very long years. So thank you and vitajemo. But I know as we gather, it is with a heavy heart. This is a festival unlike many festivals. This is a festival, in past years I've been on this stage, we've talked about the threat that Ukraine is facing. We talked about the first invasion of Crimea and Donbass in 2014. What we reflect on now since February 24th is a second further invasion by Vladimir Putin, an invasion that is illegal, that is unwarranted, that is unjustifiable, and that we will always oppose.
Courage and bravery is now the symbol of Ukraine. Our blue and yellow flag is the symbol of fight for freedom, not only for us Ukrainians, but for all of the countries around the world.
Добрый день! I hope you're doing well. As we just heard some powerful words from the ambassador, today is a very mixed day of emotions where we are celebrating Ukrainian culture, identity, music, proudly so, and I'm honored to be here on behalf of all New Democrats to share in that celebration. We also are standing in solidarity with Ukrainian brothers and sisters who are fighting in an unjust war perpetrated by Vladimir Putin, which we denounce, and we stand with Ukraine, and we stand with all of you here today. This is going to take a lot of us coming together and realizing that in any time we see an unjust war against one community, one country, it's an attack against us all, and we all together must stand against that type of violence, against that type of oppression, in unity, in solidarity to defend freedom, and you can count on us to do that. Thank you so much. Slava Ukraini!
At this time, I would invite His Worship, Mayor John Tory, to say a few words.
Добрый день! Slava Ukraini! I want to commend the other governments for the fact that they've done so much to support Ukraine. And we've tried to do some things here. We don't have some of the same resources and the same role internationally, but we've tried very hard to make sure that your city government, and my colleague Councillor Perks is here, that we have sent a number of very unmistakable signals to the Russians and to the world that we're in solidarity. And I just want to repeat them because they're things that I hope you have noticed and I hope others have noticed. We raised the day of that atrocious invasion that has gone from bad to worse. We raised the Ukrainian flag at the Toronto City Hall. It flies there today. It will continue to fly there until the Russians go home. And it'll stay there for a while after that, just to be sure. The third thing we did said that their vehicles had been destroyed by the Russians, and we've donated some vehicles, and there will be more, to Kyiv so that they can replace what has been destroyed and make sure they can look after people who need to be looked after. We will stand in solidarity with Ukraine for as long as it takes and after that, because we were before and we will be after as a city, because we love Ukraine, we love the Ukrainian people, and we love this wonderful community here in our very own city. Slava Ukraini! Thank you for having me here today.
You know, for years we've been gathering here, ми тут збираємося тут на Bloor Street, щоб відзначити, щоб відсвяткувати нашу культуру, нашу націю. We've come here for years to celebrate our heritage, our traditions. And as we speak, that heritage, those traditions are under existential threat. And as we speak, as we stand here today, young women, young men are risking everything and sacrificing everything to defend that very heritage, to defend the very nation that we've come here to celebrate year after year. And when we think about the rising cost of living, the number one reason that the price of almost everything is going up is because of Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So this is affecting people around the world. So the Ukrainian people are not just fighting for themselves, they're also fighting for us. And we need to fight for them.
Just like MP Baker often invokes his grandfather, My grandmother used to tell me stories, and my grandmother is 91 and she lives in Poland about 40 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. She told me the stories of World War II and how she was held at gunpoint at 7 years old by the Russian Soviet soldiers. And so it's a miracle that I'm here today, but having to reflect on that history and how we are so interconnected in Europe, but also here, because so many of us came to Canada looking for a better future for our families and for our children. We all have to stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Ukraine.
I want to begin by acknowledging this community that we're in, Bloor West Village. Everything in Bloor West Village was built with Ukrainian hands. The shops, the neighborhoods, the home that we have made to one of the largest Ukrainian communities anywhere in North America. And I want to thank the Ukrainian community in Canada for the gift of Bloor West Village and this community we have built together. Toronto prides itself on being a community of communities, on being a place where people from around the world, anywhere in the world, can come, make a life, make a neighborhood, make a community. And that's a debt that we all owe each other here in Toronto. It is the essence of what Toronto is, that sense of solidarity. And now, more than ever, all of us who are Torontonians are being called on to repay that debt. We as Torontonians stand for peace, we stand for solidarity, we stand for community, we stand for the generosity of spirit that I've seen in this neighborhood over the last years, walking around meeting people who have taken Ukrainian refugees into their homes, help them settle here, help them build new lives, help them get established, but most importantly, help all Ukrainians to know that the world is with them. It's in neighborhoods like this that we show the solidarity that allows the people of Ukraine to stand up and to continue the fight against the criminal Russian war. Toronto, as I said, owes a debt to your community, and we will pay that debt. We will continue to support Ukrainians, both here and in their struggle at their home. All of us must remember that the lesson of Toronto is that solidarity and justice and peace is a universal value that we carry across the globe and that we support each other in. Slava Ukrainia!
Friends, today is a bittersweet day. While we are very happy to be together again in person, our joy is dampened by the knowledge that our homeland is at war and that our brothers and sisters continue to pay the ultimate price for defending the freedom and democracy that we all value. In the past, at this festival, we rejoiced, but this year we remember. We remember that despite recent military gains by the indefatigable Ukrainian army, investigators are uncovering even more evidence of war crimes and genocide left by the fleeing Russians in their wake. And just like in 9/11, we all remember the moment where we were on February 24th and what we were doing when we first heard that the Russian Federation had escalated the war that began in 2014 to a full-scale genocidal blitzkrieg that was designed to wipe Ukraine and its people off the face of the earth. Ukraine is not only standing, it is winning a war against the most feared army in the world. In the first days of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, we were consumed with horror and grief. Your support made our grief a little bit easier to bear. We are so grateful to have friends around the world who understand that Ukrainians are fighting for the democratic principles that we all share. The United States, the United Kingdom, Latvians, Lithuanians, Estonians, the people of Poland, and all of Ukraine's neighbors understand that they cannot and will not let Ukraine fall. І величезна подяка нашій українській громаді. Так як під час помаранчевої революції та революції гідності українці Канади сьогодні стоять поруч зі своїми українськими братами та сестрами. Тиждень за тижнем ви виходите на демонстрації, ви відповідаєте на наші заклики до дії і ви не здаєтеся. Our Stand With Ukraine committee now has representatives across Canada, from Newfoundland to the Yukon. And just as previous generations of Ukrainian Canadians have done, we are welcoming those who have been displaced by war. But with God's help, the war will end, families will be reunited, and together we will rebuild a bigger and stronger Ukraine.
And we now celebrate and announce the 26th annual Bloor West Village, Toronto Ukrainian Festival open.